Here are the Premier League stand-ins with the Premier League returning this weekend and bringing with it the North London Derby at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal taking on Spurs on Sunday. Spurs unbeaten away in the Premier League this season. Arsenal sitting top of the table. This is how recent games look between the two, though, and it doesn't look so great for Spurs. So, Craig, how do you see this one going?
Arsenal. Pretty simple.
Is it going to be a simple win for them now?
No, I mean, I think Thomas Frank has definitely made them, for the most part, tougher to beat. He's much more organised. But listen, that's saying something. I think any manager going in off Postecoglou would be considered more organised. But I think he has really gone the other way. And at times, I think it's too much. And I think he needs to find the balance. I think some of their football has been very poor to watch. So I think he's struggling to find that balance between the organisation and then utilising the better players going forward. And I know they have some injuries. That being said, I think even if you go to the Emirates and sit in, I think this Arsenal side eventually will open you up. So yeah, I mean, it's a well-organised Tottenham side, but it's a Tottenham side that really hasn't flourished as much going forward. And it is early days, I think, as most Tottenham fans would like. And, you know, where it's all going to come out in the wash at the end of the season, I don't know. I don't know. But what we do know is Arsenal had that hiccup at Sunderland. They had the game under control, winning 2-1 late on. They lost that late goal. So they need to respond off the back of the international window. And I think being at home, I think they will.
Ian, one of the interesting things here is Spurs away form, stronger away from home this season.
Yeah, they're a tighter nut, a tougher nut to crack, as Craig was saying there. I think they've got 13 points out of 15 on the road. So that says that Thomas Frank is getting their act together. But, they haven't played Arsenal away yet. You know how many goals Arsenal have let in at home this season? In the Premier League and Champions League combined, one. The one that Erling Haaland scored for Manchester City. OK, Gabriel's out for what we're told is a couple of months. But now they've got the cover, haven't they, in the squad? They've got this guy, Mosquera. They can bring him into central defence, or they can put Calafiori into central defence and bring in Lewis Skelly at left back. So I don't think it's going to disrupt them too much. I'm with Craig. Arsenal to win it, and probably to 2-0.
Yeah, Arsenal against Sunderland. Let's remember before the international break came, they let in 2 goals there. They dropped points that day, Frank. I know both teams are coming into this on the back of dropped points. Do you think that'll factor into things?
Well, you know what? Arsenal can struggle because, of course, without Gabriel, it's going to be another task. But they have players like Mosquera, who just signed, or some others like Calafiori can play as centre back, or even Timber. So it can be the solution and not really the problem for Arteta. It's mostly, and I say that during the last show, where on set pieces, when Gabriel is so important, he's a real target for Declan Rice from corner kicks and to aim him and to try to score goal, and he did a lot on that. So I think Gabriel will be missed in that matter. And let's see how it works. But from Tottenham, there is something to play. I like the fact that Romero's back, and with Van de Ven, they are pretty strong with Porro on the right side and Spence on the left side. Vicario is doing great as well. So I think it's going to be a close win for Arsenal. For me, I see a 1-0. We know how Arsenal is going to play. Every game we see, they're very structured, very well organized. The question mark is more on Spurs. Will they be very good like they've always been away from home, or will it be disappointed? And we can see it when they play at home. But let's see how it works. But I see a little win from Arsenal.
Could you see a stumble for Arsenal here?
No, I can't. And to your point about Sunderland, Spurs simply don't have the physicality that Sunderland do. I agree with the boys in that Thomas Frank certainly has the Spurs team far more organised. I still think that Spurs' biggest problem is while they have potentially a very good 11, far too many of their players, I'm thinking the likes of Darby Simmons in particular, are below par as opposed to delivering on what you expect them to. And that's the difference here. It's an inconsistent Spurs, organised albeit, up against an Arsenal team who knows exactly what they're doing, knows their strengths, are as good a version of themselves as we've seen at home in a North London derby. I see this as being far more convincing. I think I went for 3-0 Arsenal.
Ian's been writing about the best players in the Premier League so far this season, and I know you like Martin Zubimendi, Ian. Tell us more about what you like about him.
Well, they asked me to pick out maybe 1 or 2 unexpected players who are not getting all the publicity. So Martin Zubimendi, he's arrived in England. A lot of players come to England, and we're seeing it with Wirtz at Liverpool, and are taking time to adapt. Zubimendi's just gone straight into that midfield, sat at the base of the midfield, breaks the play up, uses the ball sensibly, and he's kind of like the heartbeat of the team. So I think he's been very impressive.
I mean, I agree. You know, there was a question about what, you know, this is something that he doesn't do very often. This is a part of his game that I don't think you're going to see a lot of. But he's one of those players that you could watch 12 Arsenal games and talk about everybody else and not talk about him. And that's not a bad thing. He is a little bit under the radar in terms of, you might look at him and say, well, pass it forward a bit quicker, pass it forward more. But he just links the play up seamlessly. He's not the most physical player, but he gets himself in good positions. He's always available to get the ball from the fullbacks or the centre half. And the simplicity of his play just leads to it's like the oil in the chain. He just keeps it going. He's never going to, he might pop up now and again with a goal like that, but it's not going to be a lot. He's just a guy in there that links it all together. And I think the fact that he does it under the radar, for the most part, is a good thing. And I think he does it well. He's almost like a guy who, every week, he's pretty much a 7 or 8, an 8 out of 10. Your manager knows what you're going to get from him. It's simple stuff, it's link up, he's got consistency, and he's happy, it seems, for others to go and pick up the headlines. The Sakas, the Rice, the Odegaard, Gyökeres, whoever it is, they go and they grab the headlines. And Zubimendi's the type of player, he just gets in there and he does his job, and thus far, as Ian said, he's done it very well.
Now, we've got a bit of a spoiler alert from Craig as to who he thinks will win this game, but we're going to get a specific prediction tomorrow because he's on tomorrow's show. That's why his name's not on this list here.
I'm not doing it now.
This is how things look, though. The problem for Arsenal is that everybody
picks Arsenal.
what they think it's going to be. Shaka, you've got quite the win there for Arsenal now.
Yeah, like I said, I am unconvinced by Spurs in so many departments. Unconvinced up against an opponent such as Arsenal. On their day, they can be an outstanding team, but too often you have too many underperformers, too many passengers. Arsenal never seem to have those. And at home, a game as emotionally charged as this one, I think they win this quite easily.
You've been a little bit generous, Ian, not quite so generous as Shaka.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, I think what's interesting about the way the games are phased this weekend, Manchester City, if they beat Newcastle away, that is a bit of an if, would only be a point behind Arsenal when that North London derby starts. So they've closed the gap and they've looked ominous, haven't they, City, particularly against Liverpool recently. You know, Haaland can't stop scoring, Doku's terrorising defences. So, you know, I mean, it's good for the title race. But you know, what will be the situation when that game kicks off? But I do think Arsenal are winning. Yeah, I just think they're the better side.
Yeah, and a little bit tighter for you, Frank.
Yes, because I really think that there aren't a big margin between the two, a big gap, between the two teams, and also because Arsenal, we know how they play. They're not going to look for, you know, that brilliant, petulant win. They're going to do what they have to do. So 1 is going to be enough, and they're very well organized, they're very structured. So 1-0, and they can keep the clean sheet, and that's going to be enough. And they're going to win that game. It's what I think. But Spurs can surprise, and they have qualities, and they've showed away from them that they are capable of tormenting, I would say, Arsenal. But I know what Xhaka did 3-0. Is there an Italian player? I don't think so. It's only one. It's only one. And there is a Calafiori on the left side.
Exactly.
So I know why he put 3-0. That's why. He has something against Italy right now as well.
All right, all right.